Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Monday, April 8th, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You're going to see here that the futures are trading higher by about 4.5 points on the session. So, decent little pop for the futures. Really no fear out there this morning. It looks like everything is solved with money printing scenarios. But in any case, futures are trading a little bit higher. When we look across the pond and we go to the European markets, what you are going to notice is that there's very little fear there as well. All the European markets are holding steady this morning. They're up by about anywhere from 0.3% to 0.7%, really across the board. It doesn't seem like there are any real issues this morning coming out of Europe that are causing any panic or any kind of fear out in the marketplace. The one story that's out there today is that it looks like Portugal will start to administer new spending cuts because they're being warned by the European Union that they have to tighten their belt a little bit if they want to continue to get bailed out. So that's where we stand there, but the market doesn't seem to be worried about it. It looks like Portugal is going to conform to whatever the ECB is asking, and looks like the Portugal Prime Minister said that he'll start to look for new spending cuts to keep that bailout deal in place. Now, we can only wonder how long that will last or if he'll really do it, but there doesn't seem to be any panic, at least at the moment, out of Europe. Something else to talk about if you go to Asia last night was the Nikkei 225 index hit another new high for the year. The index was up 2.8%, so another new soaring move there. If you take a look at the Japanese the dollar yen, this is the dollar versus the yen. When we move over to a daily chart, you'll see how this thing has really just skyrocketed again, and that means the yen is getting weaker versus the dollar. So the yen again making new lows, and you can see how the dollar yen, this is the U.S. dollar versus the Japanese yen, making new highs, and pretty remarkable when you think about it. Look at how this thing has gone up since September, October of 2012, almost in a parabolic move. So we'll see how long that can last. I think it's on borrowed time at this stage of the game. But in any case, the Japanese stock market making new highs. The Nikkei 225 last night trading up 2.8% to 13,193. Just a tremendous move, but that's going to be problems in the future. How long can you just keep printing money at an alarming rate? They are printing money at a larger rate than the United States, and that's pretty dramatic. So we'll see how that all plays out. But right now, market seems to love it. Market loves inflation, and that's really what is being created there. What happens to the Japanese people, though, what happens to their purchasing power when they need to buy goods to survive? So that's what the real drastic part could be, is that the goods could become too expensive for the Japanese savers and the Japanese people. But in any case, that's a story for another day. Let's take a look at a couple of other things out here real quick. One, we'll take a look at gold. Gold this morning is basically trading down just 2 points to around $1,574 an ounce. Gold had a very, very good surge on Friday, so gold really made a pretty nice move on Friday this morning. We'll take a look at it here, and you can see gold is trading down a little bit, down around the 152.28 on the GLD. It closed at 152.81, but nonetheless, that's common after a big surge. Gold did have that very, very nice surge on Friday. If we take a look at light sweet crude today, crude oil is trading up by 60 cents to $93.30 a barrel. If you take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for crude, you'll see this is trading around $33.38, catching a little bit of a bid, about 10 cents higher from its closing price on Friday. But remember, the USO will trade till 4:30, where light sweet crude will close at 2:30 in the afternoon. So, crude is holding up okay. It's had a big fall last week. We'll see what kind of pattern it makes this week. That's what's going to be most important going forward, in my opinion. But nonetheless, it's hanging in there a little bit, at least today. There are a couple of other things to talk about. Alcoa tonight will report earnings after the closing bell. So Alcoa has been a beaten down stock. I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's going to go down a little bit more before it gets a bounce. But the stock does have a lot of support around the $7.80 level. But nonetheless, Alcoa will be the first stock to report earnings. Usually kicks off earnings season. It's not really the bellwether that everybody talks about, or it used to be at one point. But Alcoa will report earnings after the closing bell this afternoon. Later this week, we will have J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo. And then next week, earnings will come out in droves. So we'll have a lot of gap plays every morning. We'll have probably, I would think about four to six gap plays each and every day, sometimes more, depending on the action overnight. But once earnings season really kicks off, and that'll be more so next week than this week, it will be very, very important. It's going to also be important to see how these companies performed with the stronger dollar. It's really since February 2nd, the dollar has taken off to the upside, and that will hurt many of the multinational stocks. And we've already seen some of that when you look at companies like FedEx and Caterpillar. They've already really been in the toilet bowl, so to speak. So we'll see where that takes us. But this morning or this afternoon, Alcoa will be the first to report. That's going to be the big one. And again, it's not the bellwether it used to be, but it is worth watching and worth noting. And sometimes it can set the tone, at least for a couple of days or even that session. Something else to keep in mind today, I believe that you are going to have some people from the central bank speaking. So there's going to be a Fed president out, and then Ben Bernanke will speak tonight, I believe, at 7:15 in Atlanta. So again, I'm not sure if he's there for the March Madness championship or if he's just speaking at his own will. But Ben Bernanke will be speaking tonight in front of investors. I forget exactly where or what it is, but it is in Atlanta, and I believe that he will speak tonight around I think it's sometime this evening, 7:15, to the Atlanta Fed conference. So again, take that into consideration. Bernanke is out almost on a daily basis, trying to keep these markets propped up and the money printing and the fear out of there. So and to their credit, that they have done a good job. I mean, their markets have held up even after we've had some pretty good declines. But Ben Bernanke speaking tonight. You're also going to have, I think it is a Cleveland Fed president speaking at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock this morning. So they're going to have the Fed members out there just like they constantly do lately. Anytime you get any kind of a downtick in the market, the big question is going to be how long does the market buy into it, and we'll see how that plays out. But so far the market does get a bid every time Ben Bernanke does speak. So that's worth noting. Just going back to the futures real quick, you'll see they're up 4.5 points. Really no change since we started this little video. But in any case, we'll see how the markets play out. It is 8:47 a.m. and we'll see how this market shake out once the opening bell rings. I think traders should probably expect a little bit of volatility, but overall Mondays are usually a little bit on the lighter side. So just take that into consideration. With that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we will see you a little bit later on the charts. Take care, everyone.